evening, everybody. This is session number 3, Unleash the Money Getter. If you haven't downloaded the guidebook yet, hopefully you get it. I think tech support can drop it in the chat. If you're listening to the recording, you can go to peacefulriches.com and find this. It'll take you through to our Discord server and you'll find it in there, or in the Telegram channel, whichever you find easier to get there. So I think it's very nice to have these guidebooks. Yeah, it's in the chat now. So it helps you, even once you've gone through the course once or twice before, you can go back to it and re-energize and rethink about the exercises. So I think it's very valuable to do that. So I'm very happy to have you all here, this midweek session. I know sometimes it gets difficult to keep up with the schedules. There's quite a few things. But I hope you're really going to find it's worth it, because this one, tonight, is one that can be overlooked. And again, it's I know whenever you do the Get Money Now program, something like this, you're like, just show me how to get the money. The money, give me the goods, give me the money, and I want that stuff. And it's like, yeah, that's on the next one. Number 4 is the hidden money revealed. So there actually you will start to see there's money all around you in different places, but you're still going to have to do something to get it. For a lot of you, that's fine. I'm sure you've already trained, you've been through enough things. It's like, once you know the strategy, it's like, cool, I can do that, no worries. Get a little increase in my income. For some of you that might have been in a bit of a rut or a pattern, or maybe you've never really gone out and got new money in this way before. You might have had jobs before. You might have just maybe you got into a family business and you've just been grinding along and you haven't really had that hunger to go out and just do it in the way that a lot of people have to. The key to doing that, I feel, is being able to charge yourself up with so much energy, so much prosperity, so much good, powerful vibes that you can't wait to get out there. Because once you get charged up that way, you just want to go, and then you want to talk to more people. Or you want to ask for the things. I don't want to give away the next session, so I'm almost about to do it there, but you want to go and ask for the things that will bring you money, and you do it joyfully. Whereas, because even before these calls, I make sure and I get my energy built up. Like me and tech support and Abe Inking, who's in the chat as well, we go and play football before we do this webinar. And it's a pretty intense game. We usually play for an hour. It's like fighting for breath. We're running so hard. And then we jump in the pool, which now is 12 degrees. So it's pretty cold. But that gets you pumped up and ready to go. And then I do a voice warm up before I come on the call. And I do that before I talk to anyone on any webinar, any call, any mentoring session, anything else. I always do a voice warm-up. I'll always stretch. I'll always get my body moving. I'll always get myself ready and energized so that whenever you're talking to people, you talk to them with enthusiasm and energy and they feel it. Whereas if I was just, say we were just sitting around the house, we were just playing a game, sitting on the couch, being relaxed, and it was webinar time. Okay, let's go. And then I come on. I'm not going to talk in the same way as if I've prepared myself for the session. Or as if you prepared yourself for a public speech, or if you've prepared yourself for a sales call. You can tell the salesperson who's prepared in the car on the way over versus the guy who's just man, I got to go make a sales call. Shit, I need money. Okay, how many of these do I have to do before I can retire from this shit? There's a lot of that energy where it's back foot energy, very just dead end energy. And for those of you who've been in the group for a while, you know my favorite book, my favorite self-development book, I'll say it that way, The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace Wattles. It's such an important thing, and I remember just one of the chapters just really stuck with me. It was the impression of increase. So I'll show you which one it is for those of you who have the book. It's chapter 14, the impression of increase. And it's really about coming at every situation where you're building positive expectancy that whatever you're going to do is going to work out. And that's whenever we've taken the time to build the vision of what we're becoming, of who we're becoming, about a bigger vision of our life, what we're really all about. Whenever we hold that in mind while we're doing the work, people feel that from us. And they want to be around us. So let's say you have employees. A lot of people say, my employees are lazy, they can't get them to do anything. And what I usually say, first of all, to people is, how are you showing up when you're in work? Are you also kind of back foot hoping they take over, hoping they make the sales, and you're just like, oh, please, employees, please just get me some money? Or are you going in? Are you hungry? Are you ready to go? Are you battling like every day? Are you bringing that energy where they're like, holy shit, this is a lot of energy. I got to keep up here. But it takes intentional routines to be able to do this. So that's what we're going to be talking about tonight. It is what I call the live like a pro daily routine. And again, you can be like, okay, that's fine. Okay, stretching a bit and getting your voice warmed up and other stuff as well. But the money, but I promise you, this will help you so much in getting money. There's so many ways, like once you're charged up, it's so much easier to get out there and people resonate in such a different level. So I want to go through the routine and tell you basically some of the things I've worked out that are actually very simple. You can kind of just do throughout the day to get your energy charged up. And then you're going to find whenever you do the next session, session 4, the hidden money revealed, and session number 5, about making your offer, you hopefully, if you're prepared and energized, you'll go out and do it easily. So that's why we're doing this. And then now after this, anyone's been like, oh, it's too much preparation and internal work. Well, this is the last one. You can kind of relax in. The rest of them, that's where the rubber meets the road. So I want to really use this time before Sunday for everyone to really prepare yourself. Do the morning sessions. I did a little bit of a boo-boo with the audio track. I gave you the audio track for this session, last session, and then now I posted the proper session for the last session. So if you notice, there wasn't really an explanation for it. It's still, again, if you did it, it's awesome. You'll still have like a great experience. So I hope some of you got to download the guided audio. And again, if you're just listening to recordings somewhere on YouTube or wherever, if you want the guided audio, it'll be in Telegram or it'll be in our Discord channel, which you can get through peacefulriches.com. So I hope if some of you done that, you should be able to start feeling the energy charging up, which is what you're supposed to do for this session. But the last one we did, it was supposed to be the unlimited workday, where you build out your ideal workday. So now it's in Telegram and now it's in the Discord server. So if you did that one, you can swap and do the other one this time. But again, it doesn't matter the order. I think these are great to keep doing over and over again to get yourself ready for this. But I find the people who make a lot of money very easily are very intentional about their day. And I really just want you to set in and think about that. So think about your morning. How was your morning this morning? And I know, again, I'm kind of, as they say, preaching to the choir because you're already in the church. It's just like, I know a lot of you are doing this anyway. So, but there'll be some people, you're starting out and you're realizing that you just like get out of bed last minute. You kind of charge through the day, jump in the car, eat your toast while you're driving somewhere. And what I'm going to recommend is we start to think about an intentional pattern. And you really will feel such a difference so quickly. Like, think how many of you, do you ever get this thing whenever you're in a rush and you got to get out and you're charging, you try to grab your keys and your keys fall down the side somewhere and you're like, oh shit, trying to grab that and you're fighting to get it. And then you go and then you spill something on your shirt and you're like, ah shit, I got to change now. And you run up down, throw it back in, you try and grab your bag and it gets stuck in the door on the way out. Then you jump in the car and it just keeps, the spiral keeps coming. You just jump in the car, you're about to go and a very slow vehicle pulls out in front of you. And it's like, come on, not today, any day but today. And a lot of these things, like I feel this world just matches the energy we're putting out. Whereas once we go to bed a little bit earlier, we take care of our body when we're going to bed, put intentional thoughts, wake up in the morning, do a little bit of stretching, do a little bit of voice warm-up, do a little bit of planning for your day, then the day just seems to go calmer and more prosperous, more productive. And it's like every day starts to become more enjoyable and you do it with a lot of energy. So hopefully you're with me so far, because I know I'm selling this a little bit, but it's so important. Like once you see the value of this and the benefit of this, the next sessions are gonna be so much easier. Jasmina says both of the audios are awesome, very nice. Denise says be intentional and check your energy levels during the day. Practicing this advice already these days has made an impact already. Amazing, yeah. Art Bending says, since I work exclusively for my dream, I'm charged up, happy, and hungry every day. Yeah, so that's what I find. It's like, there's a little irony today though. When I was thinking about doing this call, Today was the first day I found it hard to get myself energized this morning. The first time in a long time. Because again, usually I get up every day. I stand while the sun's coming up over the ocean. I stand and I do sun gazing. I don't know if anyone knows that. You kind of, as the sun's coming up over the horizon, I just stare into it. And the spectrum of lights charges up your body. And I do all my stretches, do the routine, do my breathing, walk around, set my intentions, all those things. But today I just felt like, it was the first day I just felt like, I don't feel like doing this today. But I still did it. I still went out and I think it's like, maybe I did it just because I know how it feels like for those who are not loving this. Like some days you just don't feel like doing it. But the value of going out and doing it anyway. I did everything slower, I'll be honest. I did all the stretches a bit slower. I did all those things. I came back in. It still took me like another 20 minutes after I did my warm-up to start like getting my energy going. But once I kept persisting, it just starts to spiral upwards. So it's worth putting that extra time in to get yourself woken up properly and get ready for the day. And I found one of the main things is whenever you start on your phone too early, like a lot of times people just do it in bed. How many of you have done this? While you're in bed, you look at your emails, you look at all the notifications, you look at all the things you have to do, and your brain's already racing before you've had a time to get your body ready. So it's just like, it's taking that time to slow down. And I'm not a meditator. Like I kind of never really liked meditation, but I guess this is a way of sort of meditating because it's a way of becoming present. Once we can intentionally feel our body, because these bodies are incredible. Because again, we're always chasing like more money, more goals, more other stuff, but the gift of this body is incredible. Just to feel it stretching feels so good. To breathe deep and fill the lungs feels such a nice feeling. But once we charge it up, it's also, I remember Stuart Wilde, if any of you read any of his books, he said the selling process is just an exchange of energy. The purpose of a business in a store, you design the business in the store in a way that makes people feel a certain way. So they come in your store, a certain smell, a certain music, the lights, all the feeling, and they get this like happy vibe. And this, if your staff and salespeople are trained well, they'll make people feel wonderful. It's like, oh, hello, how are you today? You having a nice day? Can I get you a tea or a coffee? And you bring them a beautiful, nice smelling coffee. So they slow down your store and they start to love the feeling of this place. Everything feels so nice. And then they want to lock that feeling in with a purchase. If anyone knows anchoring from NLP, they do this thing, you get yourself into a peak state and then you anchor in with a pressure point and then it locks it into your body, these feelings. But it's the same with a store. People want to buy the thing in a store or buy it from a salesperson because they like the salesperson, because they felt their energy was good because they felt those things. And that very often will make the sale more than the product, especially on lower priced things. I know it's harder to say whenever it's a vehicle or something, but a lot of people will choose a car they like slightly less if they really love the experience. And it happens all the time. So it's like, it's crafting that experience, but a lot of the time, the only experience we have is our body, our energy. And that's what we got to project out. It's holding, like, one thing we miss a lot of time is what are we thinking about all day? People know there's like a transference of energy. I've been thinking about this a lot recently, and there's an interesting woman, I think it's Veda Austin, and she does these experiments. She gets petri dishes and she puts water in the petri dish and she holds her intention on the water, and she'll think of something. She'll think of like a ladder leaning against a wall. And then she puts it in the freezer for 3 minutes. She brings it out and then she takes a picture of it and you can see the ladder in the water. It's crazy. I got the guide to do this. I think we'll do some experiments and we'll post the results in the group. I think your intentions have to be clear to be able to do this. But she's got like thousands of pictures. She's cataloged all these different ones. You can even set it on top of a photograph and the water will mirror the photograph. And it's like, I feel like we're putting our intentions into everything we're doing all day, into everything in our life, into the people that we're around. So whenever we're also charged and we have good energy and we find peace inside and we're not like worried about paying our bills or debts or any other like stresses, we're there present with someone and we're putting good energy into those people. We're changing the waters of their body where they start to feel healed and uplifted. And that's when you lock in the sale. It's a very interesting thing. I know I'm going a little bit further out here, but these are things I wanted to explore later and show experiments of these things working. But that's why the intention is so important, because the intention, people feel what we're thinking about them. If we're trying to make a sale from someone, you think, oh, this guy's a scumbag. And you go, what a piece of shit. Look at his shoes. They're so ugly. Can't believe you come out like that. Hello, sir. How are you doing today? Having a nice day? It's like, that's not going to work. They're going to know. They're going to feel it. So it's interesting, all of these things. Once you understand how energy works and you've seen it more in your life and you've seen all these things happening, you want to take these things seriously. So we will go through the guidebook. I made a very simple one this time. We're just going to be doing a couple of basic things to, like all of this. I didn't want this to be too complicated, but there's a few basic things. If we do it every day, it's going to set us up in a very different way. So I found like a good morning starts with a good night. Like think now, be honest with yourself. Think about this. Do you ever just sit and watch like a TV show before bed? And maybe does that TV show have gossip? Maybe does it have murder? Maybe does it have a lot of like thriller things like chaos happening, car chases, other stuff? Maybe eating some Doritos, a little bit of ice cream, a little can of Coke, maybe a beer. And then you're like, oh shit, I'm exhausted. It's midnight. Okay, I better go to bed. You roll up to bed, just jump in, pass out, alarm, cutting it short, boom, you get up, start your day. Do you ever do that? What type of sleep are you going to have? What type of things are going to be in your mind when you've just been watching murder before sleep? It's obviously going to have an impact on your day, on your thoughts all night. It's going to make you restless. It's going to make you not sleep so well. And it's going to like create like a dark version once you're leaving tomorrow. So it's like, I know a lot of you heard this before, but it's like at least an hour before bed without phones, screens. Like I find they're very disruptive before bed. I know we normalize it a lot and don't really think about it. Like I bought an e-reader, which are great. I think some of you saw them, like Amazon has them, or I got other ones. It's a color e-reader, and I can use that before bed, and it's actually not so bad. You don't feel anything. It's like reading a piece of paper. So it's actually very, very good for the eyes, and then you can just relax and just take a little bit of time, a little quiet time, think about your thoughts. Because a lot of this thing, what we're talking about in Peaceful Riches, it's learning to also love quiet. And you find the people that once you love your thoughts, you start to love quiet. Because you'll notice the audio tracks that I created, they don't actually have music in it. And a lot of times people are like, oh, this is odd. It's very quiet. And it's like, I used to put music in them, but I realized actually the power of quiet is very important when you can just like understand what your thoughts are doing without being distracted or being led. Can you actually just sit quietly and enjoy your thoughts and create? Because this is a big part of what I've seen. The most important thing in creating wealth is, can you constantly create beautiful visions? But we need to have that calmness to be able to do that. And you can be super energized while also being calm. So it's starting on that. Be aware of what you eat. If you wake up in the morning, you feel a bit groggy and a bit crappy and other stuff, think about what you're eating the night before, and maybe don't eat something so heavy, so sugary, so other things. Maybe have some water. I have porridge at night, and that's kind of a British thing. I make it a very nice way with some milk and some cream, some banana, some walnuts. I just find it just relaxes me and helps me sleep very easy, and it's very nice. But I tested many things before I was able to do that. So, and then reading a good book or something, or writing, journaling before bed. It's a very nice thing to get into. And then getting up in the morning, I kind of like to wake up. Well, usually a baby wakes me up at some point, and I decide if it's after 5 a.m., I get up. If it's before 5 a.m., I try to sleep again. So, and then, but otherwise, the worst thing to get up, I'm sure a lot of you know this, is getting up with a blaring alarm. It's like, meh, meh. It's very disturbing. It breaks your sleep. Whereas like I have, it was like one of these lamps that just warms gradually. I think some of the phones, you can create the settings for that. And you just wake up gradually before you have to get up. Like usually it's nice to have an hour before. I see Mark saying, what's the reader called? It's called Onk's Books, and I got the Tab Ultra C. They have a new one, the Tab Note C. I think it's the Tab Note Air. It's amazing. It's like €500, but it's like a full tablet. It has all the apps. There's a Google Play Store, so you can have everything on it. You can even watch videos on it. It takes a little getting used to watching videos on it, but it doesn't disrupt it. So I use that as much as I can instead of like these devices. I use the Apple and stuff whenever I'm doing these, but I find making these simple changes, it start like buying different products that do that don't hurt your eyes so much, don't overstimulate the brain. it just makes it easier all day, because a lot of people are just like chaos. I'm sure a lot of you know that. Like, a lot of you maybe have done a lot of this work stuff before and you've got good routine, but if you don't, realize a lot of the chaos in the day. If you notice yourself fighting with people, arguing with people, having like little like things like this, it's probably because we didn't set up the day properly. So simple things. What other simple things? Breathing in the morning. If any of you do that, start to fill your lungs in the morning. Hopefully you're with me, just so you're here. So I know a lot of times, again, it's like, show me the money. I get it. But it's vital. Whenever we're about to do the next thing, if you start your day with good energy, the next stage, you're going to be able to do the things. But if you don't have the good energy for the day, the next calls, it's probably going to be a struggle. So I find if you can move, run around a little bit, get your body moving a bit, and get some deep breaths, like just fill the lungs properly. That's why I stare into the sun while I'm doing that. I also have a stretching guide, so I made a stretching page. I'll show you the ones I do. It's just very simple. It takes like 10 minutes. Also, then if you do the audio where you're rehearsing, you're charging up with the energy that I gave you in this, you'll notice after a couple of days of doing this, you're going to start training yourself. You're going to go out and you're going to be super pumped. So let me check the comments here. So Mark says, I've noticed when I picked up my phone right away, I'm on someone else's agenda and I can feel myself getting wound up before talking to myself taking myself for myself. Yeah. And that's what I find as well, because the other day I actually did that. I checked Discord, checked for notifications. There's not much here, but still I realized I was somewhere else other than present. Whereas I find if I just get up and I'm present, okay, what am I doing? I'm getting ready. I'm going to go down, get some water, get a tea, start my day that way. It's a very different energy and a different feeling. So saying don't dismiss this because of simplicity. It's such a vital thing if you don't have a system. So I'm hoping in the group some of you will give your morning routines. Like this is a guide in the guidebook of what you can do. But of course, I saw Jay, he posted a lot of stretches. He does a very thorough stretching, which if you can do that, that's incredible. So I do quite a simple one. It takes like 10 minutes. Maybe I'll work my way up to it more and more. But I even do this through the day. After I have a mentoring call or something, or a business call or whatever, I'll go out, I'll get sun on my face, I'll stretch again. Start moving a bit, get my body, shake off the energy. Otherwise, if you stay in the office too much, your energy just starts to dissipate hour by hour. And then you're not really feeling so excited about the next one, about the next call, about going out. Because it's like, it's not how many hours you put into the work. You can work a couple hours a day, but if you do it with super high energy, you can get way more done and be way more productive and bring in lots more money in that short period of time than if you're sitting at your desk 8, 9, 10 hours just like, okay, I'll get it done. People feel it. Even if you write an email, people feel the energy behind it. David says, journaling is a nice one. Started doing it 2 weeks ago. I love it. It really helps to lay down your own thoughts on paper. Yeah, very nice. Denise said, I was journaling this morning and I had this realization. Every kind of relationship is an exchange of energy. It absolutely is at all times. The Celestine Prophecy, I don't like recommending movies, but if you're the type of person that has to watch a movie, the Celestine Prophecy is a very nice one for this. It shows like that energy exchange, how we do absorb everything around us and we eventually become the average. That's why if someone's like super prosperous and somebody's like dark and negative, if you put them together for a while, they'll both kind of like balance out in the middle. It happens all the time. You just like whoever you're around, you'll always, your peer group usually given enough time will balance out, so you're pretty even in all areas of life. It's always a little bit of variance, but that's generally what happens. If you're super prosperous and you hang around people who are not prosperous at all, you'll just slide down and down and down and down, and they'll slide up a little bit. And that's just how that is. The energy exchange, it's so important. So yeah, Denise says, does not matter the words you're using in that exchange, but it has more to do with the prominent thought in our head that informs the energy we're transmitting. The other person notices that energy and the relationship develop based on that energetic level exchange more than anything else. Yeah, I also think that's why our daughter's been healthy every day of her life, because we're not putting, like, nobody's thinking thoughts of sickness or health or illness or anything. It's just, we just think health all the time. Just think prosperity, just think other things. And I just feel like as parents, we are in charge of changing the waters of her body and changing the waters of her organs, changing everything else. And that's what keeps her healthy. Whereas someone's always terrified, oh my God, you're going to get cold. Her hands get cold a little bit. Oh, you're going to get sick. And it's like, no, she's not. It's fine. That cold hands, not a big deal. Just keep her chest warm, other stuff. It's like, it's like if you have this fear and darkness on someone in your mind and you're worried and you're traumatized and other stuff, even if you're trying to give out good vibes or say nice words, the baby is still resonating with the energy you're feeling inside. Which is why it's so important to start breaking traumas, to start breaking all of these things, because everyone around us is absorbing what we are. You can be as nice and polite and kind as possible, but if you're holding that darkness and fears, it also gets through. I think what we are is more important. So again, we'll do trauma release and other stuff at some point in a different training. Brigida Biro says, may I ask, why do you ask? I feel like I'm an angel to some people's life I touch. People told me that before. Very nice. Yeah, I think if our resonance is higher, we can obviously like heal people, uplift, inspire people. Mark says, I just bought a book called The Happy Body, Some Great Stretches. Celestine, read that as a teenager and feel called to do it again. Yeah, it was a very interesting book. Yeah, there's a movie about the Celestine prophecy. That's what I'm saying. So the book is cool. The movie is great also. I feel it's just very important. So Jay says, I learned my deep stretching moves in Bali. Yeah, it feels so good once you haven't done it for a while. Try to stretch every muscle in your body. I'll give you the guide. I'll post it in. Let me see. I don't know where I don't think I have it here. I'll post it after with all the rest of the content once I post the video, and then you can start doing stretching. It's just very simple. Stretch your neck, stretch your shoulders, stretch your chest, your back, arms, wrists, hands, roll them around. Stretch the legs. You couple different stretches there. Roll your ankles while breathing deep, and ideally with sun in your face. It's already enough to set you off for an amazing day, just to get it going while thinking about how you're going to win. Because on the next call, we're going to be doing the hidden money revealed. So think about what you're going to be working on, how you're going to be asking for money, and then putting that intention while you're stretching, while you're working. Yeah, so the future of healing and learning. Energy, says Jay. Yeah, very nice. Yeah, so it's important. If you don't drink water in the morning, I know some people don't drink water, which is crazy. I find drinking water and not some other random stuff, it flushes out all the toxins of the body, gives you a chance to repair and other things. So it's very important to get that. So, and then presence. Mark says, what filter do I use for water? There's a company brings ours in. We've been trying to find, there's a water filter we're thinking of getting. Because right now someone else purifies it and brings it to us. So, but I want to get a home one. It's just the water here in Spain is such hard water that I don't even know, like, is it kind of, most filters even handle that. so that's why we kind of bring it externally in. So, but we're searching. I've been trying to search for a while. I think we might have found a good one. So Eugenia says, the first thing I do in the morning when I go out of my house is I breathe very deep and enjoy the view, the ocean, the mountains. I feel so grateful that I'm alive. And then in the car, I set my intentions for the day. It's my morning ritual. In the night before sleep, I practice gratitude and journaling. I do stretches every day. I'm a yoga teacher, and I teach yoga in addition to my full-time job. Yeah, so I think a lot of you will have these things. So it's just important to start building that in. It's quite a simple session, this, but it's very easy to not do this. If you're listening, you don't have one, you're like, it's a bit hokey pokey. I'm waiting for the next session. We're going to be getting the money. And it's like, if you do this, it's going to be so much easier. Because I know this whenever I'm with people and I try to give them tasks to do. The people who have good routines and get their body done, working well and other things, they go out and do the things easily. Whereas other people, they're always looking for an easier way. Because we're going to go, in the Hidden Money Revealed, we're going to look at so many different ways that you can make money that's right in front of you. But are you going to do it, is the question. And if you don't start doing these things, you're probably not going to do the next thing. So it's like, it's nice to be prepared, start to build momentum, start to rehearse what you're becoming, your ideal workday, what energy you're going to bring whenever you are doing the ideal workday. Brigitte said it's good to start with lemon water in the mornings. You can drink from a copper cup bottle is the best. Yeah, lemon water is very nice. Whatever you get. Like I find with everything, it's testing. So whenever people recommend stuff, give it a go, give it a try, but then test it for yourself. Maybe you're better going for a jog. Maybe you're better lifting weights in the morning. Maybe you're better journaling. Maybe you're better going out and sun gazing. Maybe you're better jumping in the ocean. But test it for a while. Same with food. After you eat something, notice how you feel. It's becoming conscious about how you're feeling all the time. Like, be aware. If your mood suddenly changes and you suddenly feel like shit and you're like, ugh, I feel exhausted. What happened just before? Like, start to be aware. It's like, what did I eat just before this? Like, what's happening in your body? What thoughts was I running through? Whenever you start to be conscious and be like, anytime you notice a change, it's like, what was I thinking? What was I doing? What have I done today that's different? Jay says, sun gazing or eye gazing, instant heart opening. Yeah, I love the sun. Sun gazing is so nice just to have that. And because there's a great book, I think it was called by John Ott. It was called Healing in Light. And it talks about how the spectrum of light, there's a lot of studies done into it where the spectrum of light, it heals the body just by having the oranges and the pinks and the blues and all the things. Once it gets into the eyes, that sunrise and sunset. So I make a point to get out and experience that. And I really do feel it different. Like, also, if I've been on screen too much, I go out and I just, even in the middle of the day, I'll just stare right into the sun with my eyes closed. I only do it with my eyes open in this for the sunrise. So Cam says, I have a routine since a year back called Peaceful Warrior. 6 exercises to soften my body, and then I drink 5 DL with Himalayan salt. Yeah, the Peaceful Warrior. If you're talking about that movie, that was my favorite movie of all time for self-development. I think so. I'm not recommending movies, but if you happen to watch a movie. So the other thing to do as well is the emotional rehearsal audio. If you didn't do that yet, now is the time to do that, because what we do is, this was a big thing in NLP. Tony Robbins used to talk about this a lot. It was like you start to stack powerful emotions on top of each other. So if you're feeling a bit tired or something, you rehearse. It was like, what would it feel like to feel joyful right now? And you say, I don't know, I don't feel joyful. It was like, well, what would somebody else who is joyful feel like to feel joyful? How would it feel in my body? And you start to describe as well, probably like warm here. I'd stand upright, I'd breathe deeply. And this is what that audio does. Then also, how would it feel to feel completely loved right now? It's like, nobody loves me. No, it doesn't matter. It's like, but how would it feel to feel loved right now? And you start to play with that and you start to stack these emotions. So once you've had confidence, you have the feeling of prosperity, you have the feeling of love, you have the feeling of everyone likes you, you have the feeling of energy, feeling of success, and you stack all these emotions on top of each other before you go out. People feel like you're rich already. Because you give off that aura, you're so full and overflowing with good vibes. Because I remember this, whenever we used to do the prosperity challenges, some of you might be new here, might not know what that is, but in the other group, we would send people out to go and drive supercars, to go and test yachts, to meet celebrities, to do all these different challenges where you feel like it's above your level. But whenever I started practicing those things years ago, I used to always wonder, it's like, if I just sold my company for $1 billion and I had $1 billion cash in the bank, or €1 billion, if that sounds better for Europeans here. So if I had $1 billion in my bank, how would I feel walking into the supercar dealership? How would I feel walking in to ask about buying a yacht? Because if you don't have that feeling, somebody might go, oh, I'm poor. He'll know that I can't afford that. I've never made more than $2,000 in a month. And all this story and crap comes in your brain. But if you have this feeling of, I just sold my company for $1 billion, how would I feel? Like, I don't care what I wear. If my shoes are all tattered, if I got $1 billion in the bank, I don't give a shit. If somebody looks down at me, I'm like, bro, I could buy the whole store. So you give out a different aura and a different vibe once you're in that place of peace. And whenever you can build that up before you go out for the day, because the thing is, for anyone who's like, I know there's wealthy people in this group here, so whenever you've gone from not having money to having money, you think something's big is gonna be different, but it's not. You still kind of feel the same. You just have to like tell yourself a new story, and then that new story is what fills us up. But we still go out with the same stuff. Like, you can't take that with you. It's still the same energy. That's why you find people, once they get richer, they start caring more about these things, about stretching, about meditating, about jumping in cold water. about doing conscious work, like all these things, because you try to buy your way to these feelings first of all. Okay, I bought the car, I bought the nice clothes, I have the expensive watch, I have the stuff, and then it's like, I still feel the same though. It's like I thought these things would give me that feeling, but they don't. They're not for that. These things are supposed to facilitate your life to make things easier. Like you want to have technology to help you work. You want to have a nice home so your family can play and do things and have space. It's not supposed to change your emotion. That's what we got to do every day. And the good news is, no matter what situation you're in, once you do that, you can feel better than a lot of rich people anyway, because a lot of them haven't done that work. If you do that first of all, and then it makes it easier to get the money because you have that feeling of being rich at all times. And then it's like a magnet for more riches coming. So Daniel says, I postpone all these. I'm thinking that then when I'll have the money. Yeah, so I focus on money first and ignore the rest. I know it's wrong, but I don't know yet how to put myself in priority. Yeah, because that's why it's usually backwards. Once you start taking care of yourself and putting these things and realizing it's like taking money off that pedestal. We can have an incredible experience right now and then build the money, and then it's just like the money is a nice bonus. I still think it's essential to do that because you can feel great without stuff, but I prefer to feel great and have nice stuff and have a nice home and have a nice car and have all those things. Not in like a braggy over the top way, just in a way that I like having lots of rooms in the house. I like that I can just move around. I can sit upstairs. I can sit outside. I can sit in the baby play zone. I can sit in my office here. I've got multiple rooms and a different cinema room. And I like being able to do that. It's very nice. But I don't need that to feel good. I've had many times when it's been like, oh, you have lots of nice stuff. And then, poop, now you don't. All gone. But I chose not to feel any different. Now, maybe a couple of days I might have been a little bit mad, a little bit annoyed, but then I got back to the routine. It's like, I'm going to be prosperous. I'm going to be prosperous regardless. I'm going to keep pushing forward. I don't care. Like, I do care if the stuff goes. I'll be honest about that. But I'm not going to let it change how I come at every day. I'm going to keep coming at it every single day the same way I did before. I'm going to stretch. I'm going to be prosperous. I'm going to read my books. I'm going to have that prosperous vision. I'm going to come out with good energy. I have my confidence. I have my intelligence. I have all my other stuff. And I kept going. And then you just rebuild quickly. And then you're not scared of losing things. It's nice to have things, but you're not scared of not having them. Because a lot of you have heard, like, whenever there's like a big stock market crash, you heard like in the .com collapse, and then even I think it was like where Black Friday probably came from in the 1929 stock market crash, the amount of people that committed suicide after they lost all their money. They were all rich, and then boom, they're like, fuck, I got no money, now I'm a scumbag again. Boom, dead. It's like, that's not the point of money. The point of money is not to give you self-esteem. And the people who get that, again, you get some people, they didn't really put themselves together very much, didn't think about a lot of things. They put 10,000 in Bitcoin, now they're multimillionaires, and now they're like, oh yeah, I'm amazing. But if that Bitcoin disappears, they might go back to feeling like a scumbag. And it's like, neither was true. You just got to build from where you are. And it's two things. Making the money is one thing, and how I feel is another thing. But helping how you feel, that makes it easier to get the money. So Jay says, inner riches. I like your morning video. Reveling this is a choice and not the external circumstances. Yeah, for sure. And a harmonious place does make it easier. I'm not going to lie. Like, whenever you've got an incredible view, you've got like live in a sunny place, it is easier for sure. But I think what I've been thinking about a lot is like the people who get the nice place are the people who have appreciated the lesser place. So once you are grateful for all the things we have, I know it sounds a bit hokey or whatever, but it's once you can enjoy your local park. Even if it's raining, you go out and just feel the fresh air and it's raining. Okay, I wish I was in Spain and it was sunny, but I got rain, so I'm going to enjoy rain. I'm grateful that my body's working. Is everything working? Right. Awesome. Is most things working? Great. I'm excited. I'm grateful that most things are working. How much did I make last month? 50 euro. I love that 50 euro. I'm so grateful for that 50 euro. And now I'm excited for more. Because I've heard it from many people as well. Once they've got an income, like, I don't like my income. I hate this income. And it's like, careful now. You want to be grateful and appreciate that income while you're building for the next one. And it's so important, the intention and the energy and being able to have that stability of mind. Yeah, so ICT Trader put out a nice little affirmations. I like it. Very nice. So Cam says, I'm living in Sweden and getting sunshine is very hard for a couple of months onwards. It's dark in the morning and dark at 3 p.m. The sky is very grey. Luckily, I have a dog to go for a morning walk to get some daylight. Yeah, you got to get whatever daylight you can because it is important not to miss the daylight you do have. And I get it's difficult in some places, but there's still ways to do it. Like you can charge up in different ways with cold water and many other things. So Brigitte says, how would it feel to be loved, joyous, happy, etc.? Helps when you consciously store a few memories for this reason from the past. Yeah, that's what that audio is to do, is to bring back these memories and bring back all these moments when you felt, because it is a choice. We can keep charging up, but we have to do things that don't mess with our energy. Certain foods will destroy your energy. You might think it's just like a little piece of bread, but certain breads are full of poison and certain breads are not. And you got to test in your body, okay, I felt like crap after this bread and sleepy, so I'm not going to have it anymore. I'm going to have a different one. Notice that, because Abe Inkin the other day, I don't think he minds us telling this story. He eats the same as us in the house. Nobody's really eating junk, and usually people have good energy all day. They went into town, and then I come back into the house, and he was lying like passed out on the couch in the kitchen. And I was like, what the frick happened to you? And he's like, I ate a little bit of pizza in town. I'm like, okay, that explains it. It just looks like a little basic bit of pizza. What's the big deal? Made him pass out. He was like, holy shit. And it's just like, you think it's just fine, but you don't realize every place puts different stuff in it. Some people put a very bad poison that just knocks you out. And I see it with people all the time. You think it's fine, they just feel exhausted. Christina says, do not wait. Me and my husband went to see a 50 million villa in Montreux today. We live in our 1 million house. Very nice. 1 year later. Exercise in 2019. Our house in 2020. Very nice. John says, since you were talking about lots of rooms and incredible views, what do you recommend to someone who lives in an environment which is not right? You got to make it as nice as you can. Like, I'll tell you, whenever I lived in Belfast, pissing rain, 300 days a year. It's like the opposite of Spain. I was in an apartment. It was the most basic apartment you can get, basically. I had a car that wasn't super nice. I had to go to places that were pretty rubbish energy. I stacked my house full of vision boards. I just put nice pictures of everything everywhere. And then I didn't really go home very much. Like, after work, I would drive to a supercar dealership and I would sit with my laptop and I would just sit in front of the supercars. Or I would go to the Hilton and I would just get a mint tea, sit there for like 3-4 hours in the lobby with a nice fire going. I would go down to the beach. I would just mix it up because I knew I wasn't going to be there for long. I didn't know how I wasn't going to be there, but I knew I wasn't going to be there for long. So when I was in that place, I put vision boards everywhere of nice things reminding me. I just overwhelmed my senses with it. And then I was always out. Because you can get another place, but it's important to start charging it with good energy so far and enjoying those things, but then intend to get to another place. And you'll get there if you apply the things we're talking about in this call and the next one, get the routine. It's like the world knows when you're ready for the next place. But you have to work so much harder in the beginning to get everything to that level. So it says, in the morning, I like to remember 3 positive things from the previous 24 hours, primes my brain to be open to new positive things. Sean Anchor talks about this in the book and talks, I don't know, I think you cut off there halfway. I don't know who that is, but very nice. Jay says, what you appreciates very nice. Denise says, I love so much the shift in this course and the emphasis you're putting on the sorting out the inside. Yeah, because again, the next stages are going to be hyper practical. I want to be clear about that. It's going to be we're putting together, but these are such vital, essential things to get this. Because I know a lot of times people do it's like all internal, and then it's just like, oh, I feel great, but there's no money. But the next ones, it's that combo. Get this, we're putting the base together. We're mentally rehearsing your ideal workday. You're rehearsing all the prosperous energy. You're getting a good routine, so you know how to manage your energy. Because even some days, like I do mentoring, I'd have a call and a mentoring, and I'd have to be with a baby and other things, and I have to write the guidebook, and I don't have to do that. I get to write the guidebook and other things, so I have to manage my energy in between. because I'm not very good in screens. Like screens build me up with static energy and I have to clear it out. So after I do, say, a mentoring call, I'll go jump in the pool, I'll run around outside, get sun on my face, do a stretching, clear the energy. And then once I'm clear, then I can come back in, but not until then. If I just stayed at the computer all day, my energy just gets depleted and then I start to feel it crap and get grouchy and then I'm not very nice to be around. But if I keep charging up all day, it means I can keep going. Because right now I'm doing stuff like 7 days a week. My schedule is pretty packed. I never had this before, but I love it. I'm enjoying the game. Can I keep myself fully charged while doing a ton of things that I absolutely love? Because every single thing I do is my favorite thing. I love them all. I love writing. I love coming to these calls. I love doing the mentoring. I love preparing what we're building. I love thinking about the new products we're going to be launching down the line, about organizing events, about the other things, the mastermind groups we have. So it's just like I crafted that, but now I love putting my energy into these things. Jay says, I was in Copenhagen one winter month and I could feel how much I missed the sun. Yeah, like I'd miss the sun if it's away for one day. I get it. So Abe Inking saying, his pizza, it looked so good. Yeah, that's the trick. Sometimes they trick you to think it's a good thing. So so in the group, I'm going to put in that audio. If you didn't do it yet, it's a good time to do it. There's 2 audios now. The one from last time and the one from this time, where you get to train yourself and your unlimited workday. They're both incredibly powerful. And these are things, it's not just for this process during the course. You want to make that a habit so that you don't even need the audios. Do it enough times where you know how to do it by yourself. So when you're driving, this is what rich people do. You constantly think in your ideals. When you're driving, you're just thinking your ideals, constantly crafting the vision, constantly thinking about how to improve things, how to improve my business, how to improve my life. Not bitching about, oh, if I had money, I would do this. It's like, you don't care. It's like, what's my ideal and how do I get it? Because I have all my like short-term numbers of things I want to hit in here. So it's like, because even this group we're building, I'm not doing like proper marketing. I'm not doing anything else. Again, our first goal by the end of this course was 1,000 people in the group. And we're pretty much there. It's like, I think we're almost 920 or 910 or something. So it's like, we have the first numbers, but then I'm constantly working, trying to improve it. How can I connect with people? How can I put things up and do it in a very wholesome way while keeping the energy of the group and bringing people into it? So, because it's new for me as well, doing it this way. So, I'm learning a lot in this process. So, Daniel says, listening to the truth hurts. Yeah, but that's where the good stuff happens. If it gets you, that's where the power comes from. Whenever you're willing to hear the truth and be like, fuck it, let's go. Let's start making changes, because we can change it anytime. It's just a decision. Do we want to? Do we want to put the time? We can go to bed, eat some potato chips and pass out and feel sorry for ourselves, or we can say, tonight I do it differently. Tonight I have a drink of water. I write down some things. I think about what I'm going to do. I have my audio ready in the morning. When I get up, I'm going to go and stand outside and I'm going to listen to it, or somewhere in your house. I'm going to finish my shower with a bit of cold water to perk me up. I'm going to eat better quality foods. And you start to go through this, and it's a conscious choice. And you see how quickly, if you get the right energy, once we go to the next session, and you need to go out and ask for the money, you're going to find you can do it much easier. But we have to build that muscle along the way, because this is the last easy call. So I want to be clear about this is the last easy call. So enjoy it. Coming in Sunday, it's going to start heating up, and then we're going to see people. I really want to see a lot of success stories with this. I really want to see people saying, oh, I went out and I got an extra 500, I got an extra 1,000, I got an extra couple thousand, I sold a new thing. And I want to hear this from people. So I want to get everyone taking action on this and getting ready. So I'm excited for this going. So Jay says, my big goal right now is to launch a subscription offer to build more MMR. I don't know what that is. MMR. Was always focused on HT. Can't wait for the not easy calls. I don't know what any of that means, but it sounds awesome. So yeah, I'm sure I'll explain it now. So yeah, so it's quite a simple one. Please don't miss the simplicity of this, because the people who do this will probably do the next stuff, and then you're going to be the ones with success stories. Because I want a lot of you to start having new money coming in right now. The things we've done in the first 3 sessions, if you do this right and make this habitual, you're going to find it so much easier to make money the rest of your life. It's going to be so much easier to make money the rest of your life. But these routines, all the rich people I know, they have routines. And they work these routines. And sometimes it's a bitch to get them going. But once you get them going, it's going to be so important. MRR, monthly recurring revenue. Yeah, very nice. Yeah. So in the next call, I want a lot of you. I'm thinking in terms of like the next call, do I split it into a few parts and maybe we do an extra night? I know I'm trying to think, am I able to fit that into my schedule? But I would love for you to, a lot of you here to tell me your current income streams, and then we come up with ways that you can get some new money in a different way that might be obvious, because a lot of people have obvious money right in front of you, and I want to see if we can tap into the obvious money first. Because a lot of times when the answers I give, a lot of people are like, wait, this is so like obvious and basic, and it's like, yes, but if you do it, you'll get money. Then there's the much more complicated things, like how you can buy a business with no money, and many other different things, how you can launch new products, how you can launch a new thing from nothing and get a good income very quickly. There's so many different things, but I want to look at all the aspects, because once you get your head around how do you think about it? Because again, whenever I'm mentoring, I can work with anyone from any side and we can come up with a different solution depending on their situation. If they're an employee, if they're unemployed, if they need money, if they want to buy a business, if they want, like, it doesn't matter what it is. I can come up with like 50 or 500 different ways they can create new income streams. But what I found is the people who aren't able to do it so easy are the ones who didn't do the routine. You don't have this, you don't have your energy up, you didn't think about your ideal. The ones who are able to do this first and get it done properly, they can go out and do the thing and bring in the money quickly. So that's why we're doing these things first, because it's so important. Once you get that, then when I give you a task, you'll go do it and it'll be like, oh, shocker, I made money. It's like, yeah, it's not that hard. And that's the thing, it's not that hard once you get how it is. And here's the thing as well, it becomes a superpower. You become like the most valuable person in your family. In one aspect, I want to say there's still like value with everyone, but you see your sister come in and be like, oh, I'm on a fixed income. I wish I could get more money, but I can't. I just work full time. It's like, let me show you 3 ways you can get more money right now. And she's like, what the shit? Wow, incredible. It's like, yeah, nice. Then your brother-in-law comes and he's got a business and he's like, I've been like on the same place for 6 months or a year. And it's like, let me look at this thing, and you'll start to think about it in a different way, and you'll show them how to make more money. And you can do it with almost anyone once you get the idea, which is why I want this to be like, I want to hear from employees. I want to hear from an unemployed person. I want to hear from someone who's got a list of customers. I want to hear from someone who's got like, from all different sides. And I want to like show how I would think about it in different ways. And then we create a way for you to go out and ask for the money. And then you'll all see it from different ways. So someone in a job can see how they could transition to be an entrepreneur. Or someone providing a service can show how they can provide it easier and better. So there's so many different things we can do, but it's going to be very interesting. But please come with your good energy. Have done the guided coachings or whatever we call them. There's 2 of them now. Do that until Sunday, and then we'll be ready for it. And then I'm excited to see the success stories. So that's going to be pretty much it for tonight. In the call, I'm going to you'll have the guidebook. We'll do this video, the recording of this, the audio, the guidebook, the stretching, the page of the simple stretches that I do, so it'll help you get the idea of what to do. And then the audio will be there also, so you can train into it. And then we'll prepare for the bigger session on Sunday. So hopefully you'll all be here on Sunday. I know on Thursday sometimes it's trickier, people trying to fit it in, they're working and other things. So Jay says, loving this money making strategies for various scenarios. Yeah, because once you get your head around it, it's quite incredible just how you can put deals together and how you can think about it. And then it's just like, you're never going to be stuck again. There's always a way to do it. And sometimes, it still takes a bit of work and a bit of energy, but you can learn to love it. Daniel says, thank you for the cold bucket. Yeah, Daniel, you're going to be crushing it in no time, kicking ass and taking names, building incredible things. So wherever you are, it doesn't matter. Like literally, it doesn't matter. I've been to zero several times and very quickly been able to build back up. Once you have the skills, you can rebuild pretty quickly. So don't worry about it. It's not about the money. It's about what you are and how quickly you know how this works. And then it's like, then you don't think about the money anymore. You just do what you want to do and then figure out how to monetize it. And that's the nicest place to be. Whenever you think, what would I like to do? Oh, I'd like an art gallery. Okay, how do I monetize that? And then most people go, well, I only have 4,000 in savings, so how can I do that? It's like, who cares? Throw the 4,000 down the drain, give it away, and then do it with no money. you'll do it much faster and much easier because you're not bitching about money. And it seems crazy. You might be like, well, that's insane. No, that doesn't make sense. It's like, it makes perfect sense once you get it. And a lot of you, once you stick around, because you'll notice in this group, Peaceful Rich, we're going to create courses that come at it from different angles. So there's going to be confidence building. There's going to be how to make your offer, how to brand yourself, how to speak in public better, we're going to come at it from every angle, so that some people might take a little bit longer, might take a year or two to really get all these things. But once you do, you'll feel like you're just like a superpower, and everyone looks at you and be like, how do you know so many things? How can you do so many things competently? And we break all these shackles. So I'm trying to come at it from every angle, but every time if you apply it, you'll notice a big transformation. And then we keep chipping away at whatever stuck points there are, because everyone's got different. Some people more traumas. Some people just haven't developed the part of the brain where they can visualize things properly. Some people low energy. Some people trauma, or whatever. Or don't know business things. So yeah. So there's many things coming up. So hopefully that makes sense. Yeah, let me know if that makes sense. And I really appreciate the introductions as well, by the way. So amazing job. Everyone did that. I'm loving them all. I don't always get time to comment on everyone's, or don't really get time to comment most of them, but I'm reading them all, really enjoying them. And I appreciate everyone who did it. You're already in a different place by stepping up and putting things out there. So being willing to put yourself out there is such an incredible thing. Yeah. So the other thing as well that I'll tell you just at the end of this, we will be launching, the next project I think will be called Meeting the Money Masters. That's probably going to be our next thing. And I'm going to be introducing a lot of you to a lot of my friends who are very successful. And I want to bring them on the calls. And we're going to be doing these things. So hopefully we'll inform you more about these things. The other thing as well is, if you want those golden badges, I put a new thing for the givers and the golden badge. That'll give you access to the live calls where you get to meet my network and other stuff. But again, everyone will get access to all the calls always. Everyone will always get the courses. Everyone will get all these things. It's just like, once people are generous givers, we let them closer to the network because we know you're a real person. It's kind of an important thing that way. So that's going to be awesome, because here's the thing as well with all of you, if you brand yourself and put yourself out there and I know you can represent me well, I will recommend you to people that can open doors for you. Because I've spent 20 years building an incredible network of people with different skills, different businesses that can open your doors. But if I'm going to recommend someone, I gotta know that you'll make me look good. If I call my friend and say, hey, this guy, he does great he's a great marketing company, I need to know you're gonna do me proud. And I'm not concerned about that, because once I know that, I'm happy to recommend you. So we'll build ourselves up and we'll do the branding, we'll get all the things together, and then I'll recommend as many of you as possible, because I want everyone in this group to thrive. So yeah, awesome to see you all. Hopefully keep an eye out for all the exercises, and I'll post a video tomorrow. So thank you for being here, and prepare yourself for the next calls, because they're going to be a different level. So, all right. Awesome. Great to see you all. Have a great night. Get money now.